6 p.m. We're on the second floor of City Hall for a special council meeting. Media's been notified, agenda's been posted. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Stephen Jopek.
Here.
Luke Kramer.
Here.
David Holt.
Here.
Gerald Anderson. Here. Bob Luter.
Here.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Here.
Leanne Felton.
Here.
Thomas Barnett. Chris Hannes.
Here, we do have quorum. Please stand for the pledge. Okay, moving on to number 4, which would be public comment. Do we have any public comment tonight? Okay, do any of the alders have any public comment? Okay. Moving on to number 5, introduction of new business, discussion and or action for the Northwoods Golf Course fiscal year 2025. As you know, at our last council meeting, it was voted not to extend the contract. So now we're looking to see what we would want to do. And we would need a motion if we want to bring it back in-house or if we wanted to do something else. The city administrator handed out a packet. There's a memo there from the treasurer from the city, Wendy, and then there's some stuff included there from Rachel with HR. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that?
No, so what's in your packet here is Wendy basically just going over the financial transition if you decide to bring it in-house. And then Rachel, the HR manager, Rachel Pearson, has put together a timeline for you of what we would need to do to hire and onboard people. And she's got some job descriptions here for the higher end jobs at the golf course. So we're kind of ready for some sort of direction from council.
Yep. Mr. Luter?
Yeah, so I would make a motion that we bring the golf course in-house for 2025 and direct the administration to post the jobs and proceed with interviews.
Mikulowski, second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any discussion on the motion? Mr. Anderson?
Yeah, I'm in favor of this. I just wondered a little more about how it's going to work. It's for one thing, is it going to be considered a separate department of the city and somewhat reporting directly to the administrator?
That's how we envisioned it when we talked about it internally, is it would be a separate department. Jeremy's got enough things to do with parks, so we looked at it as the general manager or whoever's hired out there would be answering directly to me.
That makes sense to me. Do we have any idea how the salary of someone in the manager's position particularly compares with other department heads within the...
It's actually relatively comparable from what I understand. It's in the 70 to 90 range for the general manager.
And one other thing I've been wondering about is, if we're saying we're going to do this for 2025, does that cut down on the number of applicants that someone wouldn't want to take a chance that it's going to be for a year or less?
Well, yeah, I don't know how to answer that based on, there's some belief by some members of council to look at possibly selling the course. So, I mean, if you do that, I think any applicant is on the fence of, do I want a job for a year or two? But I think that's also a question this board has to make a decision on at some point of what's the future of the golf course, if it's going to be a long-term investment for the city or not.
And honestly, we're looking at just this coming year here. That's what I'm focusing on, at least, is just this coming year. If this is what you guys would like to do, getting it transitioned over and getting that up and running. I'm honestly at this moment not thinking about the long term of it. I want to focus on getting it done right. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of obstacles. There's going to be a lot of stuff that Rachel and I are going to need to figure out as we go. If this is the way that council would like to go, but so I couldn't answer that. I don't know what motivations general managers have.
Mr. Holt? Mr. Jopek?
I guess one thing, the way our, sorry, long school day. The way these are going to be presented and posted, is that going to be, is it saying that there's like a termination date after FY25? Or can it be, because like, I don't think there's been no expression as a whole, no formal expression by the city that we're looking to, be done with the golf course yet, right? And so do we need to post like, hey, this is only for fiscal year 25? Because like I can see how that could be a barrier to somebody applying for a job if they don't know what's going to be there after the next year. But I think we're all here with a pretty firm intent that this isn't going to go abroad right away, if that makes sense. And so do we need to post it just saying it's one fiscal year, or can it be just, we're looking for this job opening, period?
Yeah, I mean, this might be more of a for Rachel, but my understanding it's an at-will state for employment. So, I mean, we don't have to even put an end date, and it could just be if the body decided to go a different direction 1, 3, 5 years from now, at that point, that decision would have to be made what to do with their employment.
I agree with the being at will. It would simply be a posting to fill the positions, starting from the top down.
Mr. Holt?
Yeah, for the most part, any organization or business that is posting a job can things can change, and people looking for jobs know that. And even if it were to sell, or that even if the city decided to pursue that, it would still need to be run. Right, so I don't really see that as an obstacle either for something that we have to post up front, or an obstacle for somebody looking to pick up the position or apply for the position. I will add that in terms of my feeling towards it, I did not vote the way I did the last council meeting with the intention that the city was going to go turn around and pursue sale of it. And my read of other council members is that there's a lot of support for going ahead and running it and having it as part of the city. Lastly, I think that you made a very poignant statement that when you're talking about this much acreage and green space for a municipality like Rhinelander, this is not going to come around again if we let it go. So I think moving forward, there is at this point not any suggestion that the golf course is going to sell.
Mr. Barnett?
So I just came in, I know that there's a motion on the floor to bring it in-house, and it's been seconded. My question is when it was originally in-house and it failed, that's why we brought in the management companies to bring it in, what's going to make this time different? That's what I would ask. I have a fear that it will fail again, and I'm pretty sure it will. And that has nothing to do with the employees, has nothing to do with the management. It has everything to do with it's not going to make money. And I understand that it's a golf course and, it's never going to make money. It's an asset. And so we're in a budget deficit. We're in a crisis, actually, where we're talking about laying people off. And I'm really concerned about this, that we're more concerned about a green space than we are about our budget. And we're going to keep throwing money at this? I don't get it. I understand that I'm completely alone on this, and that's fine, but I know I have to say my piece about it so that people can know that there are other options, and that the sale of the golf course will bring down property taxes. It will do a lot of good for the community. But we want to keep it as an asset, then we'll see how it goes.
And I would just like to point out, if this motion was successful, at our next council meeting, we would have to bring back an organization chart for you guys to approve, because we would be adding that as a department. So there's something to kind of go back to Mr. Anderson, your one question. Mr. Anderson?
I need to My recollection of the motion was that it said to bring this in-house for 2025. And I wonder if it wouldn't be better to say beginning January 1st of 2025 and leave the other end open.
Austin, if you want to repeat the current motion?
Motion by Luder to bring the golf course in-house as a city department for 2025 and have administration, and then I had post jobs, but I got kind of muddied there that I was going to check what the official motion was after the fact, but that's what I have.
So I see your point, Mr. Anderson. That might be better to say starting January 1st and just leave it open-ended. I don't know, I believe Ms. Michalowski second, and then Mr. Luda made the motion. I don't know if that's something you guys are open to changing.
I'm fine with that.
I am too.
The rest of that motion was to have administration post the jobs and then proceed with interviews.
Okay, so if those two are fine, so what would be the new motion on the table, clerk?
Motion by Luder to bring golf course in-house as city department starting January 1st, 2025, and have administration post the jobs and conduct interviews. Michalowski second.
Okay, Mr. Barnett?
Like I said, I just got here, so I don't know if this was asked or if it's in this, but where's the money coming from to pay for all these employees?
There should be actually a net reduction because we're not paying a management company. So all these employees are already paid by us through that company.
Okay.
So pretty much we're cutting out the middleman of that company. So there should be a reduction in costs. So actually that would help us from a budget point of view. And just for the record, for everyone in the public knows, and Patrick or Rachel, correct me if I'm wrong, I do not believe we have laid anyone off from this budget cycle this year.
No.
So just as of right now, that hasn't
For
happened.
clarification,
Yeah.
I said we're
So-
talking about it. We didn't actually do it. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, just for no one out there gets, yeah. Mr. Jopek?
I think, yeah, just for clarifying that, I guess yeah, just, never mind. I lost it in my head. Sorry, it's been a long day.
So, and you're going to see, if this motion does pass, you're going to see a report being put in just because it'd be a new department. So whoever becomes that general manager, you're going to see a monthly report from them. You're probably going to have a presentation or two once we start to get into season and stuff starts to come together. A lot of this is going to be falling on Patrick, I believe, at the near beginning here, just to make it all work and come together. But it's interesting. So.
And I'm going to lean a lot on Rachel as far as getting the people in there and everything else. So.
Mr. Holt?
Yeah, one comment I wanted to make, just in reference to the idea of what might be different, and the golf course. I believe the golf course being run in-house is prior to my time, but I do remember it was fairly recent that Green Golf Partners coming on board was a fairly new thing at that point. And one of the comments about that, or one of the issues was, we had been talking about the Heel Creek integration into the golf course, and we've been talking about that for a long time, but it took years for it to happen. And one of the significant aspects was that inherently in the Northwoods, the golf season is short. It's shorter than it is in other parts of the country, and therefore, looking at the Whipsaw, as a restaurant, it just wasn't utilized year round. And the whole point with integrating Heel Creek was winter silent sports and winter events and such. So I do think that there's a significant change in what might happen in the future.
The only two things else I would piggyback is last time it was in-house, we had a part-time city administrator, a part-time legal department, and we didn't have an HR department. So, I think those three are all more helping the city be equipped to manage something like this. So just, granted, I don't know all the details of why they decided to contract it out, but I think those three things also help make it more manageable and efficient for the city to run it. Mr. Jopek?
Sorry, I'm back. My thought was, at least for the immediate purpose of what we're trying to do here, I think, as you mentioned, the kind of taking back that management cost, I think it was like $90,000, rough, give or take. I do think that in the immediate, this is the right step forward, regardless of what we end up doing. I think Mr. Barnett has a good point. In the sense of we should look at the past, history teacher here, look at the past and try and figure out, yeah, what happened the first time. Either A, don't make those mistakes again, or B, is it worth, exploring selling? But I think all roads in this case, we're in our best position by bringing it in-house and then pursuing whatever we pursue. So with the matter at hand tonight, which is to bring it in-house and to post these jobs, I think that puts us in a better position to pursue whatever we decide to pursue in the coming fiscal year, and puts our budget in a better situation as a whole, regardless. So looking at kind of coming back to this letter that Wendy Bixby gave us, it sounds like the city's prepared. Like that was a big question in our last meeting was, are we ready to turn this over and start this process? And she seems pretty confident, and I'm sure you've talked to her, that our systems are ready for pay, our systems are ready to do these things, and Rachel's here to do so as well, to have this ready to go. And so from my perspective, if we have the people in place or a plan to get the people in place, and it's going to integrate into the city, it's going to reduce our expenses and bring it in-house for future trajectory, whatever that might be, to me, this is the right call. This is what we should do.
Any other discussion regarding the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Nay.
Bob Luter.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion passes. Would there be any other motions on this topic tonight? Okay, not seeing. Going on to number 6. Our next regular council meeting will be December 9th at 6 p.m. It is 6:17, meeting adjourned.